cause of more than 3,000 deaths in 2022. Come on, we're smarter than this. Let's put down the phones and focus on the roads. Drive safe, everybody.
So this is a good example of something we do that other shows don't. Doesn't mean it's right. It's host preference. So I like to hear in my ears all the time what's going on over the air, even during breaks, and we let people see behind the curtain.
And Gordy Young, Friday morning.
15 seconds.
All right,
Halloween show with.
From the Civic Media World Headquarters in Madison, Wisconsin, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. Todd Allbaugh along with Mr. Aaron Zommers on the board, our producer and engineer. It is 6 minutes past the hour of 2 o'clock on this Thursday, October 30th, 2025. It is a great day to be a Wisconsinite. Welcome, everybody, to the world headquarters of Civic Media, downtown Madison at the old intersection of State Street and Fairchild on another beautiful, gorgeous day. Mr. Zommers, how are you?
Doing well. It is very sunny outside.
Very sunny indeed. Let's take a look at the old Sam Davison street cam. Look at that. A beautiful day here in downtown Madison. Sunshiny skies, the beautiful Overture Center across the street. Blue skies, leaves slowly. Isn't that on the one side of the building there, Zommers, the leaves are pretty gone. And on the other side, on the State Street side, fully green leaves.
I wonder if maybe they're fake trees.
That could be.
I don't think so.
Not in Madison. That would be abhorrent. Plastic trees? Are you kidding me? I think it's microclimates.
Well, you're probably right. No, the state bird or the city bird is the plastic pink flamingo. So maybe there are some plastic trees.
That is a great point. I did not think of that. Going to be a great show today. I hope you stick around at the bottom of this hour. Looking forward in nervous anticipation to our guest, Chuck Collins, will be with us. Now, this is great because Chuck Collins is part of the Millionaires Club.
The Patriotic Millionaires. Yes.
Well, he's a part of the Millionaires Club, too. But yes, Patriotic Millionaires. And he's this group has been on the program before. And what's interesting, to me at least, is that his great-grandfather was Oscar Mayer himself. And this is great because while Chuck is on with us, we're going to be doing a text-to-win contest, giving away a 12-pack of Oscar Mayer wieners. So I'm looking forward to that.
I don't know if we're doing that.
Yeah, probably not. But we'll ask him about his great-grandfather, Oscar Mayer. And the cool thing is he took his wealth at a young age and basically gave it up. And now he's part of Patriotic Millionaires. And he has a new book out called Burned by Billionaires, How Concentrated Wealth and Power Are Ruining Our Lives and Planet. Now you think to yourself, some people might think, well, that seems like kind of a hoity-toity, above-my-head book. Not so. He has a great chapter on billionaire oligarchs are coming for your pets. This is real.
It sounds far-fetched, but far-fetched. But Todd and I read it, and no, it's legit.
And it's really, I think more and more people now, they're waiting later in life to have kids, or maybe not have kids at all, can't afford it. And so our pets are becoming truly part of our family. And anybody who has a pet knows that vet bills are through the roof. People are taking out thousands, tens of thousands of dollars in debt for our pets. Well, guess what? The billionaire class is partly behind that. So Chuck's going to be along to give us the 411 on that and also talk about Patriotic Millionaires in general. And he has been, Zommers, to the old hometown, Richland Center. He came there as part of the Patriotic Millionaires event.
All right.
So we'll ask him. I never really got to ask him what he thought of Richland Center. So that'll be fun coming up after the Pam Yankee Farm News at 2:30. Chuck Collins here from Patriotic Millionaires and his brand new book. Also in hour number 2, another fun fact for you from Wisconsin. And what's worse, piercings today. Talk about piercings or tattoos.
Specifically, the bad ones.
Yeah. Do you have, not to get too personal, but do you have either?
I do not.
I don't either. I'm not sure I would do piercing because I'm afraid of pain. But maybe if and tattoos, I have nothing against them, but it's just that I worry that if I got anything too large, that by the time I'm another 20 years older, everything's gonna be sagging and it just wouldn't look good.
Well, then you gotta. I feel like then you have a story. It's still interesting. That's my opinion. But
We'll talk in hour number 2 about tattoos versus piercings. What's worse? That's coming up. But here's where I want to start. We're in this shutdown, this government shutdown, right? Keeps continuing on and on, despite Republicans having control of both the Senate and the House and the presidency, and for all intent and purposes, the Supreme Court as well. It continues on. And I think for a lot of us, we think, well, what's up with that? I mean, that's just far away in Washington, D.C., not going to affect me at all. But here now we know that it does because after tomorrow, SNAP benefits, a lot of people still use the term food stamps, are coming to an end. And I think there's a lot of people that have bought into the narrative from my former party, which I left the Republican Party in 2011. But my former party, the Republic, they like to put out a narrative that, it's just lazy people that don't want to work that are on food stamps. But we know that is simply not the case. And we've heard from people in agriculture who are working 7 days a week, people that are active duty military people in our National Guard, people just working everyday jobs. And yet because the pay is low and hard to find more, they're using SNAP benefits primarily to feed their kids. And I thought it was worth a minute to just recognize this and remind us all, there by the grace of God go us. Right? I'm thankful that I have a job where I'm not going hungry. I'm not going out to steak dinners 3 times a week or anything like that. But I have shelter, I have food, and for all intents and purposes, I have a comfortable life. I'm thankful for that. But I also remember growing up as a kid in Richland Center in a small rural community when my mom was a single mother, working her finger to the bone, making ends meet for my sister and I. And if you're, in your 50s or whatever, you'll remember this in Wisconsin for a while. You stood in line for free government cheese. And it was a big thing in Wisconsin for a while. And it was meant to help the farmers or whatever. But also, if you qualified, if you had a certain income, you could go stand in line at the middle school on a Saturday morning and get a 5-pound block of cheese. That was a big deal. Make grilled cheese sandwiches out of that, right? Macaroni and cheese. All kinds of stuff. And we didn't realize as kids at the time, I get to go stand in the middle school for free cheese or whatever. But we didn't realize how important it was. And I'll never forget as a kid in middle school, maybe a freshman in high school, I was middle school, my mom going to the county offices, whatever it was, and said, look, I just need a little assistance here. I'm working 6 days a week, trying to put food on the table, trying to keep the heat on. We used to, our kitchen had a pocket door and then another door that went into the bathroom. We would close off this small little kitchen, and my mom would make a tombstone pizza and then keep the oven open afterwards so that the kitchen was warm enough that we could do our homework, and the rest of the house would be in the 50s during the winter. And my mom just said, we need a little assistance here. And at that time in the 80s, the answer was, fine, but you have to get rid of whatever. I think it might have been a couple of $1,000s that my grandparents had put in a savings account for my sister and I's college in the future. And because there was that savings there, the answer was, no, you can't. You either have to give up your kid's college fund or you can't get anything. And my mom chose not to give up the college fund. And she would cut a tombstone pizza into little squares so it went further. and wait until my sister and I ate, and then would eat whatever she could, and would oftentimes go to bed hungry. She wore hand-me-down clothes from my great aunt that didn't always fit her or weren't in style, so that the little money she had to buy my sister and I school clothes. She ended up going back to school because she'd been a teacher, and then after she got married, she was at a parochial school, and she never quite finished her teaching degree. And she got married, and then I came along, and she was a stay-at-home mom, and then my parents split. She worked at a daycare, and she worked at a camera shop. She ended up going back to school and finishing her teaching degree and was a kindergarten teacher for 24 years. A hero. But I want us all to remember this week, we are all one paycheck away from being there. So I hope we all just suspend our judgment and poo-pooing things. And remember, there by the grace of God go I. 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. What made me think of this, my friend John Poole, former recruiter at UW Richland, posted this from my hometown. Anybody else, if you want to put this out for your hometown, call us, text us this week, today and tomorrow. We'll do it for you. The Richland community, for our listeners at WRCE in Richland Center, the Richland Community Food Pantry was overwhelmed today, John writes, with nearly 140 families served, a new record. And in this case, setting a record is not good. But we need to continue to do all we can to support our community. Monetary donations to the Richland Community Food Pantry can be sent to, and we'll put this in the show notes, Richland Community Food Pantry, care of Lighthouse Chapel on Cairns Avenue, Richland Center. You could do it online as well at rcunitedgivers.org. That's rcunitedgivers, all one word, .org. If you want to help out the Richland County Food Pantry there for our listeners at WRCE. We talked about what was going on in Milwaukee, the food share there. I know there are things here in Dane County. If you are listening and you're listening across the state and you have a food pantry, an organization that's helping out in your community, call in, text in on the Civic Media app, whatever it is, we will help amplify that for you. Zommers corrects me. It is
the rcunitedgivers.org. When you first go to it, it might not pop up. It was just a little slow for me, but it did eventually work.
Okay, so rcunitedgivers.org for the Richland County, Richland Center Food Pantry there. But let us know. Let's go quickly to Cindy in Appleton, listening on WISS out of Oshkosh. Cindy, about a minute left. What say you?
Well, the party of family values is at their best again, right?
Yeah, yes, there's the political side. Absolutely. It is just needless, and a lot of good people are being hurt by this.
Yep. And you talk about the food pantries. I have a friend who did the scouting for food a couple weeks ago, and he said the donations are really down. And I said, well, you know what I think it is? I think everybody's struggling right now, and people just don't have the extra to give to the food pantries because they're trying to keep it in their own cupboards. So,
yeah.
I mean, this is going to only get really worse. And unfortunately, a lot of these people voted for you-know-who.
Right.
And I'm afraid the pain they're going to feel is going to be a little too late, but I hope they think twice with the next election because these are the consequences of voting for the wrong party.
Appreciate the call, Cindy. She's right. Here's the other thing Mom taught us as kids. Even though we had very little, we always had something. And during the holidays, during the Toys for Tots thing and the Marines collected the toys, she said, pick out one of your toys. One. And we're going to take it down and we're going to give it to someone that has nothing. And she said, you'll feel better. And she was 100% right. We can all do something. 5 cans of soup, $10, whatever it is. Give to your local food pantry. Come on back. More calls after this. You're listening to the Allbaugh Show across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network.
92.7 WMDX, where thinking is still
So, Zommers, you
fashionable.
said the So you think Richland
Join
County
El
Food
Sazon
Pantry is
Huddle
better?
Show on Plaza Drive
Well,
for
that
karaoke every Friday
Richland
and Saturday
Community
at 8:30
Food
for margaritas,
Pantry.org
pizza, and wings.
is
Plus, stop in
a
for
good
lunch Monday
website.
through Friday from
The other
11
one
to
that you
3.
gave
El
out
Sazon
did
Huddle
eventually
Show.
work,
You
but at
won't be
first it was
hungry,
saying it wasn't
just
responsive.
Maybe it's being overwhelmed.
Maybe.
I don't know. All right, but no, I appreciate
Hello,
the
this is
update.
Dr. Chris Kammer, the no
Jack,
drill,
we'll
no
go to
shot
you
dentist
next,
from
my
Victoria's
friend.
Dental
So
in
hold the
Madison.
line, as they
I
say.
heal teeth with medicine, recommended and prioritized by the American Dental Association. I stop cavities by simply brushing antibiotic on your teeth. So no shots, no drills. For a kinder, more humane healing experience at the dentist, reach out to Victoria's Dental. We'll help you win the battle for your health peacefully and comfortably only at Victoria's Dental. Find us at thedrillisgone.com.
What is a commercial? It's a message delivered to the people, in this instance through your radio speakers, into your ears. Why, it's like a movie for your brain. This radio commercial is directed to the business community. If you want to reach more customers, you should be using WMDX Radio. It's that simple. Just email sales@WMDXradio.com and let our crack sales team show you how to make your business grow with the #1 medium known to humankind, the radio commercial on WMDX. Long may you wave.
Transform your bathroom with the beautiful quality of Bath Planet. Bath Planet has earned the Good Housekeeping seal, a symbol of quality and consumer confidence for over 100 years. And right now, for a limited time, you can upgrade your bathroom for 50% off installation or choose 18 months with no interest and no payments. But you need to call now. This special offer is only available by calling 800-329-4115. That's 800-329-4115. Call 800-329-4115 right now before the offer ends.
Looking to strengthen the bond with your pup? Dane County Humane Society offers a variety of dog training classes led by certified trainers.
30 seconds.
Classes are designed to help you and your furry friend learn new skills, improve behavior, and deepen your connection. Whether your dog
Pursuing truth wherever it may lead and having fun doing it. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. It is now 22 past the hour, 2 o'clock on this Thursday, October 20th, 2025. Glad to have you along. Aaron Zommers on the board. We have a visitor today. Zommers.
That we do.
The wonderful and talented Tucker, who has just joined our fine staff, and the new senior producer for Matinee on Air. Tucker, welcome to the network.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Nice to be here.
We'll talk more to you in hour 2. Are you sticking around for hour 2, or are you out after hour 1?
I might be out after this, but
you can only,
we'll see.
like most people, they can only take so much of Todd. Well, nice to have you here, Tucker, and you'll be working more on Matinee on Air, so I'm glad to have. I told him, I said, you're welcome to observe, but there are certain things here on this show that probably other shows don't want to do, and that's fine. But always happy to have people along. Welcome, Tucker. Glad to have you here. Talking about food pantries in the state, and during the shutdown, SNAP benefits will end after tomorrow unless they can work something out in D.C. And yes, I'm all for pointing out that this is by and large, in my opinion, my former party, the Republican Party's fault out in D.C. But I'm also, as are more interested right now, rather than just barking politics, helping advance how we can help each other across the state of Wisconsin. I know Milwaukee is doing this with increased efforts in food pantries there. And also in my hometown of Richland Center, they're making a concerted effort. And I appreciate my friend and former dean or assistant dean at UW Richland, our main recruiter, basically, and is very involved in the community. John Poole posting this for the Richland County area in southwest Wisconsin. You can give. If you want to give money to the food pantry there, rcunitedgivers.org. rcunitedgivers.org. It takes a little while for it maybe to open up, but it will eventually. Could also send donations there via snail mail. But all across Wisconsin, if you have a food pantry you want to bring attention to during these times, We're here for it. 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. Jack in Merrimack. Jack, the ferry's still open, I assume. Still nice weather to go across the river.
Haven't been across in a while, so I can't verify it, but it should be.
All right, very good. What else do you have for us?
Well, I've got about three things. Thing number one, that you said, how can we help each other, is a very simple way. Many people are into physical fitness these days, and I didn't think about this when I talked with your screener, but I have an app on my phone which registers your mileage. It's called Charity Mile, and it's a free app. You can download it from any of the major sources, and it basically pays. It's sponsored by a number of different athletic supply companies, and it pays so many cents a mile. I think it's like 25 cents a mile for running and a nickel a mile for biking, and I do both. For basically to your favorite charity. Mine happens to be Feeding America.
Wow.
That's where this is going.
That's super cool. So Charity Miles. Check that out on the app.
Yep.
Good tip. About another minute left because I got a Wisco is on the hold as well. What else you got, Jack?
Well, two quick things.
Sure.
Thing one, there is no excuse for anyone going hungry or being food insecure in the wealthiest country in the history of the world. And thing two, one of the biggest problems that we have in this wealthiest country in the history of the world is that three people have as much wealth combined as the bottom 50% of the people in this country. And that kind of thing's got to stop.
Agreed, Jack. Great call. Appreciate it. And it ties right into our next guest. Coming up after the bottom of the hour here, Chuck Collins from Patriotic Millionaire is going to be on to address just that. 855-752-4842. Wisco Paul, listening on WMDX in Madison. Wisco, thanks for calling in. What say you?
Well, thank you for taking my call, Todd. I try to listen to you every day.
We appreciate it.
Well, I don't know how you feel about the filibuster, but the Republicans do have the power to end the filibuster, and they can pass this god-awful budget they have. And I don't know what your feelings on it, but I don't think it's ever really helped the Democrats. So, really, the ball is in the Republicans' court.
Yeah.
You want to feed people, you want to end health care. You guys, it's in your court. Thanks, Todd.
Appreciate it, Wisco. Thank you so much. Many people in politics refer to it as the nuclear option, quote unquote, because it was put in place. Matt Flynn could keep me honest on this, either the 50s or the 60s, to so that things would move slower in the Senate. The idea was that more thoughtful things would happen. Well, I'm not sure how that turned out. And neither party has been willing to go there and get rid of the filibuster. So instead of requiring 60 votes, it's just a simple majority. I'm with Wisco at this point. Blow it up. Get rid of the filibuster and let's get people fed. There's no reason, agree with Jack and Merrimack and many others, no reason in this country why people should be going hungry, particularly our military folks, particularly single moms, and the politics of this is despicable. Using American men and women and children as pawns to not want to advance Affordable Care Act, which again, that's something that we know that our farm community, people working in Walmarts and Dollar Trees and local bakery shops, a lot of people use the Affordable Care Act. And we have $40 billion, 40 with a B, $40 billion that Donald Trump is sending to bail out this weird dictator in Argentina. And yet Americans are going hungry. Americans are going without Affordable Care Act health insurance. And our beef farmers in Wisconsin are under siege because you're giving the $40 billion Trump is to Argentina and then saying, oh, yeah, we'll flood a Wisconsin beef market with foreign beef. Not so great. Come on back. Gonna have a great conversation with Chuck Collins from Patriotic Millionaires, how it affects your pets. I'm not joking around. Stay tuned. Farm News is next with Pam Yonke and the Midwest Farm Report. It's the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network.
MDX. because silence makes you nervous. Madison, Wisconsin. Students?
I believe Mr. Collins is here. Chuck, how are you?
Todd, good to meet you.
It's good to meet you. Now, keep me honest. Did you come to Richland Center with Sage as
yeah, did we get to meet? Yeah,
yes, we met briefly.
Absolutely.
We met briefly.
Yeah. I was wondering if I was going to get to be on your show because I remember meeting you. Yeah.
Yeah, it was that was great. So let's just talk. We'll just kind of do a general intro. Obviously, your unique background with Oscar Mayer. I jokingly promoted that we'd give away a 12-pack of Oscar Mayer wieners during the segment, but no.
Excellent. Excellent.
So we'll do that, and then we'll get into
Ride
your role.
in the Wienermobile.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll give a little background, and then we'll get into Patriotic Millionaires, and then the book. So we have you until the top of the hour? Is that correct?
Perfect.
Awesome. And we have 1 2-minute break at the 10 till mark.
Perfect.
And we'll be live here in just under 4 minutes, at 35 minutes past the hour.
Are you in Richland or where? What?
I am based in Madison, so I'm at the main headquarters here in downtown Madison. I can look right out the studio windows into our friend Sage Wiles' office. So I tell people the owner keeps an eye on me even during the show.
And you keep an eye on him.
Well, no, not at all.
Wow.
So you've been touring a lot with the book, or is it mainly
a little
stuff
bit,
like this?
Yeah, a little bit in the Northeast. I just like to stay in my pajamas and do radio interviews, so that's my.
Why not?
That's so much better anyway.
Certainly more comfortable.
Heck yeah.
That's awesome. I'm thank you very much, by the way, for sending this this excerpt that was in The Nation.
Oh
on
yeah,
pets.
I just thought you'd get a kick out of that.
I love it because, and this is one of the things we try to do on the show, right? Is take these larger issues and make them more digestible. And I think this entire thing about the pet angle, I think it's a really good way for the average Wisconsinite to understand this, because as you write, more and more people than ever have pets, and many of them are in fact essentially their kids.
They are.
So
yeah. A lot of young people aren't having children, and their animals are their family. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean it, and well, we'll get into it on the air, but I mean, there was a couple of things that I'm like, oh, that's why. So I found it enormously informative. So,
well, that's my attempt, was like in each of these categories of our life to kind of drill in and say, see,
right,
your own health.
Yeah, and Oscar Mayer was your great grandfather, correct?
One great.
All right, great.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. My grandmother was his daughter. Yeah. Yeah, I hear they're putting housing where the old plant was or something.
Yeah, I know at least it's if it's not approved, it's in the final stages of approval. I'm not sure exactly where it's at in the approval process. But yeah, they're finally, after all these years, looking at some legit redevelopment that I think will benefit more than just some other big corporation.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
About 25 seconds.
All right, thank you. wherever it may lead, and having fun doing it. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. 35 minutes now past the hour of 2 o'clock on this Thursday, October 30th, 2025. Glad to have you along across the state of Wisconsin. Aaron Zommers on the board, always doing a fine job producing and engineering. Excited and honored to have our next guest here on the broadcast. He directs the program on inequality and common good at the Institute of Policy Studies, where he co-edits inequality.org. That's inequality.org. He's also a columnist with Oligarch Watch and is the author of a brand new book entitled Burned by Billionaires: How Concentrated Wealth and Power Are Ruining Our Lives and Planet. And perhaps for Wisconsinites, most interestingly enough, is the great-grandson of the Oscar Mayer. Chuck Collins joins us from his home on the East Coast. Chuck, thanks for being here.
Hey, Todd. Good to be with you. Thanks for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. We met briefly last year. You were so gracious as to come out to my hometown in southwest Wisconsin. I neglected the intro to say you're also part of Patriotic Millionaires, which, of course, our founder, owner, and CEO, Sage Weil of Civic Media, is a part of as well. And you go into these rural communities and you invest time and money to educate people. And you were kind enough to come out and do a presentation to about 100 folks in Richland County on what wealth inequality means for people, particularly in small towns. And I just want to publicly thank you for taking that time. I thought it was great.
No, it was great to meet you in person. And I love Richland. I was born in Madison, but as you know, it's not that far away to go out to Richland, and a lot of us love going out that way. So
it really is a lot of fun. Before we get into your book, which I want to dive into here, this is some really spectacular stuff. Tell us a little bit about your story. I know you've had some public service announcements on our network talking about it. But for those that might not have heard, you grew up in Madison. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you came to be part of Patriotic Millionaires and now this mission of educating folks.
Well, I think I won the lottery at birth. I successfully picked the family that I was born into, and that's that. Although when I was in my 20s, I sort of wrestled with, is it a good idea for both personally and as a society to have so much inherited wealth flowing down the line? So when I was in my mid-20s, I gave away the inheritance I had. I kind of thought I was being fed a lot of baloney about what was happening in the economy, but that was 40 years ago. But I've been a member of the Patriotic Millionaires because I think it's important for people who grew up in the circumstances I did, as well as people who are a lot of our members are entrepreneurial wealth, that started companies, made a lot of money, to speak out publicly, not just sort of hide out and stay undercover, but speak out if you feel moved to talk about why extreme inequality is not good for society, and to support fair tax policies and higher wages and reduce the impact of money in politics. Those are the things that bring us together. So I'm really honored to be part of that group.
Tell us, if you would, what was the tipping point or the moment in your 20s where you said, geez, I got all this inheritance, I've got it made, probably wouldn't have had to work another day in your life if you didn't want to. I mean, I, on a much, much, much smaller level, made a decision in 2011 to walk away from the Republican Party, something I'd been a part of for 30 years, wasn't making huge money or anything. But I view this as a similar moment in your life at a much younger age, which was it affected you much more directly. Of what was it that said, I'm going to give all this away?
It was a slow burn process. After I grew up in Madison, I moved to Detroit. And my dad worked in downtown Detroit. And I just remember the riots in 1967. I was only 7 at the time, but it kind of made an impression on me. And I kind of understood that what was part of what was happening was there was an enormous divide between city and suburb, black and white, opportunity and a sense of no opportunity. And then, as I grew older, I got to just kind of understand more about how the economy worked, and just came to a belief that too much inherited wealth, the United States is a great country, and part of what makes it great is opportunity. and everybody can have an opportunity. And I was starting to see the ways in which inherited wealth limited opportunity for other people, that created kind of wealth dynasties, if you will, that people kind of pulling up the economic opportunity ladder. And that actually led to this, the current moment in the book I wrote, which is, wow, here we are. We have this extreme inequality of wealth. And I think it's not good for most of us. I don't think it's even good for the wealthy to have such a great polarization. So that was really the motivation.
We're speaking with Chuck Collins, who is the author of a brand new book out entitled Burned by Billionaires, How Concentrated Wealth and Power Are Ruining Our Lives and Planet. Also a member of the Patriotic Millionaires. So let's clarify this, Chuck, because, again, growing up in a farming community, you understand this. There are a lot of hardworking ag people out there because of the price of land and stuff. And there's a little bit of a book written, Land Rich, Cash Poor, where you could say, well, look, that farming operation is worth $5 million in land and assets, maybe more. But explain, you're not talking about folks like that. Talk about the level of wealth that you're targeting, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, I think that first of all, I also live in a rural farm community now in Vermont, and see the issues. People maybe have land, but they're using it as a productive asset. They're growing food. Maybe land as housing might be more valuable, but let's be clear, you can't eat housing. So I'm thankful for the people who are staying on the land and working it and growing food and meat and products for the rest of us. But yeah, the focus I have is, on power. Where does the power reside? And clearly the billionaires in this country have a lot of power. There's about 915 billionaires when I looked this morning, with $8 trillion of wealth. There's 26 billionaires that have more than $50 billion each. Well, clearly they have a lot of power. I actually kind of put the line at about $40 million. Once you have more than $40 million, you are not just buying jets and more mansions, you're buying senators and media outlets, and you're lobbying for your own selfish interests in some cases. So that's where, when people have that level of wealth, it becomes corrupting, and I think harmful for a healthy democratic society.
I appreciate you laying that out, because I think that's really important, because you're not talking about stifling people's American dreams to do well or be successful or have a successful farm or agricultural operation. But to your point, let's be honest, you get $40 million in the bank, you're doing okay. And I think, there's some inequality at that point. So thanks for that clarification. All right, Burned by Billionaires, Chuck Collins, tell us a little bit what led to the book and what the thrust of it is about.
Well, people say to me all the time, well, does it really matter how rich the rich are? Who cares? Or maybe I even admire somebody who has that level of wealth. And what I try to do in this book is talk about how it's sort of touching and disrupting every corner of our lives. So the fact that we have an economy where the rules are now rigged to funnel wealth to the top means that a lot of people aren't sharing in the productivity gains. Wages have been flat, stagnant for decades. People don't have a lot of financial savings and reserves to fall back on. And at the very top, you have this extraordinary wealth. And when you have $1 billion, and I don't have $1 billion, but I've been studying it, you are trying to find places to park your money. And there's a reason why Bill Gates is the largest owner of farmland. It's not because he's interested in farming. It's because he just has so much money. He's buying up real estate and land and assets. He can't put all his eggs in one basket. What does that mean? It means that the billionaires are buying up emergency rooms, healthcare facilities, pet hospitals. They're robbing us of our voice and vote, meaning they've sort of captured our political system. They're driving up the cost of land and housing. They're effectively dictating what's on our dinner plate through huge concentrations of ownership in food and agriculture. And, it's touching our basic well-being in so many ways. So that I try to kind of break it down in a very accessible and personal way, why this matters and how it's harming each of us in our day-to-day lives.
I can't wait to read the entire book. We're talking to the author of Burned by Billionaires, Chuck Collins, who also happens to be a member of Patriotic Millionaires, joining us via StreamYard. You do, and I love this because you break it down for real people like me that are not big financial people that can understand this. You have a new piece in The Nation. You can find it at thenation.com entitled "The Billionaire Oligarchs Are Coming for Your Pets, and They Want to Make a Bigger Profit." This is part of the book, correct? And explain this, because I think this is so understandable for so many Wisconsinites.
Well, for many of us, animals are really members of our family. And what I think that the billionaire investor class has figured out is that some of us are willing to go into debt for their care. Others we're willing to spend money for them to have decent lives and access to health and good services and food. And so what the investors are doing, the billionaire investors, because they're looking for ways to squeeze more money out of those parts of the economy where we don't always feel like we have a choice. You may have noticed veterinary care costs have gone way up.
Mm-hmm.
Animal food has gone way up. These are part of the overall affordability crisis, but it's not an accident. It's not a coincidence. The Mars family, we usually think of them as candy, Mars bars and that sort of thing. Well, they're a big 4-generation dynastic wealthy family. They're buying up the veterinary hospitals, veterinary clinics. They sometimes maintain a mom and pop facade. They're buying up the pet food industry. And they're even, some of these wealthy investors are buying up the pet services. So let's say you have a dog, Todd, and you want to hire me as a dog walker. We find each other at rover.com. Well, rover.com skims a bunch of money between our business arrangement. Who bought them? Blackstone, a giant $1 trillion private equity firm. So I'm just saying they're moving into these places where people are willing to spend money or have to spend money and squeezing a few more nickels out of our day-to-day budget.
And this is where I'm just like, oh, duh, Todd. I mean, you point out, here in Wisconsin, Mountain's Pet Food Warehouse, and all their jingles add with, "Don't forget your free Mountain's candy bar, your Mars candy bar." I thought, well, that's very nice. These people give away this candy bar, and after reading this, I'm like, holy crap, Todd, this is just the big conglomerate billionaires jacking up pet food prices and giving away candy bars, trying to make us think they're nice people. And let me add quickly, that's nothing to say of the local people the local folks working there, I'm sure, are fine people. But your point is, correct me if I'm wrong, that the prices are being controlled by multi-billionaires who don't give a crap about how much we're paying for pet food.
Well, and part of their strategy is to squeeze the workers too. Mm-hmm. So, I in my company, we at the beginning in my town at the beginning of the school year, there was a school bus strike. The workers were trying to get a few more dollars a day, and they were locked out. The bus company locked them out. And everyone thought, well, isn't this a family-owned business? Turns out the year before, they'd be bought up by one of these vulture investor firms, these billionaire investor firms. They're not going to give a pay raise to anybody. They're just going to keep squeezing.
We're talking to Chuck Collins. He is the author of a new book called Burned by Billionaires, also a member of the Patriotic Millionaires. We'll come back, find out more of this book and how what billionaires do affect all of us across the state of Wisconsin and what we can do about it. You're listening to the Allbaugh Show across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network. This is so good, Chuck. I mean, it's bad, but it's good. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
I love this, the simplicity for people like me who are not big in the financial markets. This is so accessible, and it's a great way, a narrative, which unfortunately, having been a former Republican, Republicans are much better at, but this is a great narrative for people to understand.
Yeah, I kind of say the 10 ways you're being burned by the billionaires. Boom, 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 boom. Try to make it simple and accessible.
So we'll have about 6-ish minutes or so when we come back. What do you want to make sure that we get to?
I think whatever you think is would be good for your audience. So,
all right. Let's wrap up a little bit more on this pet stuff, because I think it's just such a great way for people to understand this. And then I'll just
maybe we could segue towards human health.
Yep, perfect.
Say, okay, well, we talked about our animals. How about the human health?
Okay.
How that's,
Let's do that. Perfect.
Computers that work for you.
orange construction barrels, unpredictable weather, and the most passionate people you'll ever meet. Madison isn't perfect. It's better than perfect. It's real. It's ours. And it's home. 92.7 WMDX. Celebrating the beautiful chaos of life in America's most interesting small, big city. When you know, you know. WMDX.
It's a beautiful fall day on the East Coast as well.
Kind of a cold, rainy day.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
All my-
It was that way a couple days ago. Now it's one of those sun is out, cool. You know,
Good.
I love this time of
Send
year.
it our way this weekend.
It
Yeah,
probably
no,
will be coming that way. Yeah.
I love this time of year. Yeah.
Me too.
Although I have a bunch of free range chickens and they just like to come and crap on our porch. It's like you got 12 acres here, folks. You got 12 acres. A little bit of rain.
Yeah, right?
Why? Because we genuinely
So that's what I'm doing after I talk to you, cleaning up shit off the porch.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. He could have lived on the Oscar Mayer wealth, but instead he's cleaning chicken crap off the porch.
Can't think of anywhere I'd rather be.
That's awesome.
800-549-8866.
And people can get this just wherever books are sold, so to speak.
Yep.
Very good.
Yeah, there is that website you put there that, you know, has the, if people are looking for an online, non-Amazon online option, they can go there too. Or Amazon. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Zomer.
All humans deserve quality, publicly funded education, child care, and health care. But what do you believe in? At Chance Design Build, we believe every person.
Welcome back to the Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. It is now 8 minutes before the hour of 3 o'clock. Coming up in hour 2, another Wisconsin fun fact in today's edition of What's Worse, and more news along the way as well. Right now we are continuing our discussion, great discussion, with Chuck Collins. He is the author of this wonderful new book called Burned by Billionaires, How Concentrated Wealth and Power are ruining our lives and planet. You can find it. Zomer's has it up there for those watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twix, whatever you want to call it. Has the cover up. Fantastic as a match with a fire, on the match there, and being burned by billionaires. Chuck is, for Wisconsinites, the sexy notable thing is he is the great-grandson of legendary Oscar Mayer. Yes, that Oscar Mayer, Wienermobile Oscar Mayer, but made the decision in his 20s to give up his inheritance, and now has been working on equality in terms of wealth equality amongst many of his other passions. He is a member of Patriotic Millionaires, and he directs the program on inequality and the common good at the Institute for Policy Studies, where he co-edits inequality.org. Chuck, before the break, we were talking about this connection with our pets, and so many people now our pets are their kids. And I just want to make sure we wrap up and make people understand that these billionaire equity firms are buying up what look to be mom and pop veterinary places or food places for our pets in Wisconsin. And that's why it's just so important to know who you're dealing with.
Yeah, it is important to understand who owns the services, because there's been an encroachment in our community. These billionaire-backed investors are buying up different corners of our economy, and we should know who they are, and we should know who the local businesses are that we should support. The same thing is happening in our personal health. If you've had the unfortunate experience to have to go to a hospital or emergency room, you now know you get 5 different bills. You get the doctor group and the anesthesiologist and and those are all different investor groups. Some of them are owned by these large outside investors. They see healthcare, which is a sixth of our economy, as ripe for the plucking. And they're trying to figure out how to get in there. So 1/3 of emergency rooms in the U.S. are now owned by billionaire-backed private equity funds. All the medical services, obviously drugs and pharmaceuticals. So that's just another arena where we're getting squeezed. And I don't know, if you go to the emergency room, it's not like you're shopping around, right? You're not like,
Right.
hey, should I go to that one or that one? Which one is going to give me a better deal? Sorry. Same in housing. These vulture investors are buying up mobile home parks. One of them said to me, oh, I love owning mobile home parks. It's like owning a Waffle House where the customers are chained to the booths. They're not going anywhere, and we can squeeze them. And that is the model. Find those corners of the economy where we're willing to spend, or we have no choice to spend, and squeeze more out of our daily budget.
I think you hit on something, Chuck, that's so frustrating for people across Wisconsin, whether we're talking about big box stores or whatever. And people say, well, okay, I want to do something, but what choice do I have? I might not have, I'm elderly, I don't have a car, or I can't get too far. This is all I have. So when people are in those situations, whether it's health care for themselves, their pets, or whatever, what's your recommendation, Chuck? Is it just going to the voting booths on election day? What can people actually do about this?
Well, I do think, we have a little power over where we spend our money as consumers, and educating ourselves about who owns the businesses in our community and how can we support local businesses and farms. But in the end, we have to have politicians who are going to side with working people and the middle class over the billionaires. We basically need people, and we need not to fall for the phony populism, the phony, hey, I'm with you, I'm going to help you, I'm going to throw you a crumb while I help my billionaire buddies raid the treasury. So that's ultimately, I think, learning about all the different ways we're being burned by billionaires, and talk to our neighbors. When people complain about local property taxes, you have to understand there's been a multi-decade shift off of federal taxes onto local, off of wealth onto work, off of corporations onto individuals. And you do that for 40 years, and lo and behold, our local taxes are higher than they should be, because there's no more progressive federal tax. The rich are opting out of paying their fair share of taxes.
And we only got about 3 minutes left here, but we've talked about this on this program before. Just this week in Wisconsin, we're seeing these data centers now move in from out of state, out of country, offering local municipalities who are already stretched thin millions of dollars of relief in exchange for basically our resources and driving our electricity up. And the locals, to your point, are like, what are we supposed to do? Raise our taxes to our friends and neighbors, or take the money?
Yeah, and the oligarchs are going to raise our rates for energy so they can have these massive data centers. They're going to they're at this point, they're trying to keep these zombie coal plants open around the Midwest, so that, because the coal company, the coal oligarchs, if you will, have lobbied to keep their plants open while they shut down the windmills and shut down the competition. So these are all the ways in which the billionaires are touching us and pickpocketing us, really, nickel and diming us, and making us pay more for the things that we need.
Well, I can't thank you enough for your work, Chuck. It takes a special person to say, I'm going to give up my own comfort in my 20s to go on a mission to help others. So I applaud you and thank you for your work. I hope people find this book, Burned by Billionaires by Chuck Collins. Get it wherever you buy your books, hopefully at a local bookstore somewhere in Wisconsin. But Burned by Billionaires. About a minute here left, Chuck. What have I not asked you that you want people to know?
I guess I want people to know that we can fix this. We, in the years after World War II, we built an economy that raised all the boats, not just the yachts. We focused on taxing the wealthy, making sure the wealthy pay their fair share, and investing in things like education and infrastructure and affordable housing that made non-wealthy people's lives better. And we can get back to that, but we need leadership, and we need to understand we have to come together to make that happen.
The book is called Burned by Billionaires. The author, Chuck Collins. Please check it out wherever you buy your books. Chuck, thank you so very much. Come back soon. We'd love to talk more.
Would love to talk, Todd. Thanks for having me.
Sounds great. Our pleasure. Stay tuned. Hour number 2 is next on the Civic Media Radio Network. Talk a little Wisconsin fun fact, what's worse in news. You're listening to us across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network. That was amazing, Chuck. Thank you so very much. Really appreciate you. Yeah, that was great.
I just said I should stay on for the upload, but maybe that doesn't matter.
I don't know, Zommers.
I guess once we can pop you out and see how long it takes. If it's taking more than a couple minutes on your end to upload, then just don't worry about it.
Don't worry. I'm just going to walk down and
take care of the chickens.
Cook some soup and pick up some chicken.
All right,
yeah.
sounds good.
So
All right.
I'll just leave
Thanks,
it open.
Chuck. Be
Thanks,
well.
Todd.
Take care. Yeah, bye-bye.
Thanks, Aaron. Bye.
Thank you.
Oh, that was great. That was fun. Thank you for doing that.
Convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and one of his victims, Virginia Giuffre. ABC's Patrick Reevell has more.
He will no longer be known as Prince Andrew. Instead, he will only be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. He has also been told to surrender the lease to his royal lodge in Windsor, his accommodation in Windsor, and will now find private accommodation.
The statement ends saying, quote, "Their Majesties wish to make clear that their thoughts and utmost sympathies have been and will remain with the victims and survivors of any and all forms of abuse." On Wall Street, stocks are down this hour. This is ABC News.
Farm news that impacts you and your community from the Midwest Farm Report throughout your day on 92.7 WMDX.
For 92.7 WMDX News, I'm Savannah Tomei Olson. Fewer Wisconsinites have gotten their flu shot this year. Lisa Hale reports.
Did you get your flu shot yet? Wisconsin Department of Health Services officials say there's been a significant drop in the number of residents who have received their flu shot this year. According to DHS data, only about 309,000 Wisconsinites have gotten their flu shot so far in the month of October. Last October, that number was nearly 860,000. DHS officials are encouraging residents to get their flu shot as soon as possible as winter weather begins to move into the state and respiratory viruses start to become more common again.
Many doctors recommend flu before boo, as in get your shot before Halloween. Speaking of, as you're making your plans for tomorrow, many Dane County communities have trick-or-treating hours. Madison is not one of them. The city does not put out suggested trick-or-treating times. Here are some other cities, though. In Fitchburg, it's 4 to 7. In Verona, it's 5 to 8. And in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Waunakee, it's 5 to 7. And after trick-or-treating, we change the clocks. Here's meteorologist Brittany Merlot.
On Sunday, we get an extra hour of sleep when the clocks fall back an hour at 2 a.m., resulting in earlier sunrises and earlier sunsets. While this change gives us an extra hour of sleep, the time difference can still cause confusion and disruptions to the schedules for kids and pets. The Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine says the shift in time change has been associated with increased heart attacks, strokes, abnormal heart rhythms, sleep disruption, mood disturbances, and even suicide. People tend to feel more tired with the less light. A common chemical that regulates that is called serotonin, and that comes from the sun. So it's important to increase your exposure to sunlight during the day, especially in the morning. I'm meteorologist Brittany Merlot.
And I'm Savannah Tomei Olson, 92.7 WMDX News.
Do the Bucks have a new leader? Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with Sports. NBA, the Bucks' new center, Miles Turner, picked up in that trade with the Indiana Pacers, so far has done a lot to help set up his teammates with good shots. Is that a form of leadership? Head coach Doc Rivers.
It just tells you, it's funny talking to Reggie Miller before the game because he knows Indiana. He said, man, you like that leadership? I said, it's amazing. I said, I never knew. He said, no, that was the key for them. But he was such a great leader.
The Bucks host the Golden State Warriors tonight. NFL, the Packers preparing to host the Carolina Panthers Sunday at noon. Quarterback Jordan Love named NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Love completed 20 passes in a row against the Steelers. Had he ever done that before in college or high school?
I don't know, honestly. I don't know who keeps stats like that in high school, so I don't know. I'm not sure.
Kids seem to know how many points they always score.
Yeah. I don't know. Probably the first time ever, yeah.
That's Jordan Love with Sports. I'm Mike Clemens.
Madison, Wisconsin. Students, government, lakes, and 92.7 WMDX.
I'm meteorologist Rodney Price. Partly to mostly cloudy into the afternoon and highs in the mid-50s with a light north breeze. Clouds tonight, upper 30s. Friday, Halloween forecast. Partly sunny skies, lower 50s in the late day. A couple of showers at trick-or-treat time. Currently 50 degrees.
He was really good.
Busted Pencils.
He was.
Fully
That's
lettered
definitely-
education talk.
You know, one of those things. And speaking about AI, guess
to
what I
reach out
did?
to
I
Tony,
used
see
AI
if
to
maybe we should
prepare for the
post that as
show
its
today,
own
Johnny. You know,
video.
of course I did. I got
Whatever
it
works.
together, put up a little outline.
So it's Tucker,
you know, the
stay around for 5 minutes, Tucker.
Okay, I'll
stay
stay for
around and
5
talk to it.
minutes. I'll stay for the
You
5
can
minutes.
you can stay until Wisconsin's fun fact, and then you can leave.
Okay, that
All right,
sounds
all right,
great.
very
I
good.
will stay for the fun fact, and then I gotta go make some plans because I gotta pick up my daughter from daycare eventually.
Oh my goodness gracious! Well, if you got that,
Well, no,
that-
I got some time. I
Oh,
just had
all
to do
right.
an errand before that, but
All
I
right.
will. But that's why I'm leaving kind of early.
No, you've had a full day, for goodness sake.
All right, just over 30 seconds.
Gracias.
From the Civic Media World Headquarters in Madison, Wisconsin, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. Todd Allbaugh, along with our producer and engineer, Mr. Aaron Zommers, on the board. It is 6 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock on this Thursday, October 30th, 2025. It is a great day to be a Wisconsinite. Welcoming everybody to hour number 2 of the big broadcast here in downtown Madison at the world headquarters of Civic Media, intersection of State and Fairchild. A beautiful day out, the fall day. Get out there and enjoy the sunshine. Zommers, how about Chuck Collins there in hour 1 from Patriotic Millionaires with his brand new book? I thought that was fantastic.
Me too. Yeah. After reading the excerpt that he shared with us, and also just hearing your conversation with him there, I will definitely be picking up a copy.
Yeah, Burned by Billionaires. That's the name of the book. Buy it wherever you get books. Great read. Educate. Who knew that they were coming after our pets, the billionaires, right?
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Yes. In this case, the billionaires are. It's the billionaires. Turns out not the refugee, not the immigrants. It's the billionaires who are going after our pets.
They're doing their best.
Yeah, who would have known? Also, in the booth here, the wonderful and talented Tucker, who is the new senior producer for Matt Nair on Air with our friends Jay Matt Nair and Greg Bach. Jay now joins us every Monday. That's fantastic. Tucker, you're settling, what, a week, 2 weeks? How long have you been in the company so far?
Yeah, this is my second week.
Your second week.
So,
All right.
yeah, just getting lay of the land. Happy to be here.
And you come to us from the great community station WORT across town here in Madison, Wart.
Yeah, I was volunteering there. I mostly worked on the Monday Morning Buzz there in the Mondays. So helping out Brian Standing, finding guests, building that show out a little bit. And I did a little bit of video and social stuff for Wart too. And lovely station. Love the people there.
It's a great station, and one of my all-time favorite people in the world has a show over there, Tony Castaneda, who is the king of Latin music in America, Latin jazz in Madison, Dane County, Wisconsin. And you can see him still at the Cardinal Bar on Thursdays, I believe, with his quartet. Tony Castaneda, everybody, look him up. But did you ever get to work with him at ORT?
I didn't, but man, he's there's a big list of folks that I have not that I still wish I could have maybe. But
we'll get him. Well, here's
he's great.
Tony's been on the show before, but it's been a while. We need to get him back. We'll get him on, and we'll bring you in. It'll be a big Wart reunion.
I'm in.
All
yeah,
right.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, people can find you on Monday through Friday. Here's what happened last week, Tucker. I'm such a fan of Matt Nair and Air that I went one morning at 9 o'clock and I put in the chat here at Civic Media an SOS. I said, "There's goofy music." I didn't say goofy. There's music playing instead of Jane and Greg, and then I realized it was Sunday. Sunday, Todd. So it's Monday through Friday, Matt and Aaron air from 9 until 11, and you can find with Calvin and Jane and Greg and now Tucker as well. So welcome, Tucker.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm happy to be here. Yeah, check out our shows. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Tucker, everybody, from Matt and Aaron on air. All right, it's coming up on 10 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock. Time once again for Wisconsin Fun Fact. Let's go.
Oh, Wisconsin, land of beauty, with your hillsides and your
That's right.
plains.
Time once again for Wisconsin's Fun Fact. All right, here we go. October's almost over. On October 30th, 1914, the first 4-H club in Wisconsin was organized. Founded in Walworth County, 4-H immediately clashed with the rival Future Farmers of America, touching off a blood feud that continues to this day. It often results in the group having to be separated at county fairs across the state. And that's how we play Wisconsin Fun Fact. Tucker's going to go back in his meeting with Jane and Greg. I don't know what the heck they're doing over there now. Their show, but he goes, that makes no sense at all.
What's a fun fact, though?
It's a fun fact, you understand? We're not nearly as professional as Jane and Greg, but we do have fun. Wisconsin Fun Fact. All right, let's try this. And I've covered up the answers, by the way. Our friend TJ sent this to us. A lot of things, they're changing the U.S. citizenship test and trying to make it more difficult for people getting in the country to be naturalized, which I think is ridiculous. So here now, the test for U.S. citizenship is getting longer and more difficult. Immigrants seeking naturalization as U.S. citizens will now need to answer twice as many questions correctly to pass the oral civics exam, thanks to updates implemented this month by, guess who, the Trump administration. The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services puts out a study guide to help immigrants prepare for their exam. The study guide lists 128 questions and answers to the exam agent can choose from. The study guide is online at uscis.gov. uscis.gov. An applicant will need to correctly answer at least 12 of 20 questions to pass the civics test. That threshold used to be 6 out of 10. All right. So let's try this, Summers. One of the 128 questions for a would-be citizen. Question 37, good old question 37, reads, quote, "The President of the United States can only serve 2 terms. Why?"
That's a very loaded question.
This is a test. This is now to be a naturalized citizen. You have to know the answer to the President of the United States can only serve 2 terms. Why? Well, the Constitution bars them from serving a third term. Right?
That's what I would say.
The study guide gives 2 reasons. I did not know this. This is real. The first reason is because of the 22nd Amendment to the U.S. Constitution.
So I wonder if that would count.
Here's the quiz question. What is the second reason? This is real.
What is the second reason?
There is more than one answer. I haven't covered up. I don't know it. What is I think just the only reason is the 22nd Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. What is the second reason? Any guesses?
Yeah, I don't know.
Tucker, any guesses?
No, I don't.
You got no guesses.
He doesn't either.
I honestly don't know. Maybe somebody knows. In the interest of time, all right, the second reason is, according to the study guide, it is to keep the president from becoming too powerful.
So that's the reason for the 22nd Amendment, but
it's according to the Immigration and Naturalization, or U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. A correct answer is not just the 20, or 2 answers. So the applicant could say the 22nd Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, or to keep the president from becoming too powerful. That is also a correct answer.
Oh, but it's also you don't have to have both.
No. I'm just saying it's an either or. Those are
Okay,
there are
gotcha.
there are two answers that would be ding, pass or whatever. But I think that's just interesting that we're asking our citizens our you have to be a permanent resident first for 5 years at least, so then you can apply for naturalization. And so you're asking someone to be naturalized as an American citizen. Why can the president not have a third term? First answer, 22nd Amendment, and second answer is real and legal to keep the president from becoming too powerful. Now, you would think that the president himself and the people around him would know that. And, of course, Trump's been toying with this idea of a third term, selling hats that say, Trump 2028. And we played it for you, I think, what was it, yesterday? Trump on Air Force One, now conceding and saying, well, I guess, if you read the Constitution, you can't. I don't buy it in terms of Trump acquiescing. I think this is just to tamp it down for a little while. 855-752-4842. Let's go to our friend Mark in Prairie du Sac. Mark, what say you?
Well, I'm slapping my FCC filter on right now.
Okay, thank you.
Because the only answer is because the 22nd Amendment says the president can only have 2 terms. I mean, it is just these people want to ensure citizenship. Yet half these people in the Trump administration couldn't pass a citizenship test if they had to. I don't think. I mean, it is just beyond me.
Well, let me give you another one. See what you think of this, Mark. This is real. I'm on the site right now, uscis.gov. I didn't realize I'm somebody who worked at immigration issues back in the 90s for a member of Congress and used to help people get through this. Give them the tools, I should say. So here's one of the questions: what form of government is the United States? Mark, you know this.
Well, it's just democratic republic. I mean that.
Now here, according to this site, there are 3 right answers: republic, constitution-based federal republic, or representative democracy.
And those are all 3 are correct. I mean,
right. That's what it says. That the applicant could say any one of those and be correct. Number 2? What is the supreme law of the land?
The Constitution.
Ding, ding, ding. And they only give one. They only give one right answer for that one. All right. One more. Number 3. Name one thing the Constitution does, and they list 4 right answers. One thing, Mark, the Constitution does. U.S. Constitution.
Guarantees the right to free speech. I mean, it guarantees the right to keep and bear arms. I mean,
right.
That with some.
Now, see, I'm only going to interrupt you in the interest of time. This is you're obviously correct on those things, but here's officially, and of course, applicants for naturalization get a test question with these answers on it beforehand. But according to the U.S. government, name one thing the U.S. Constitution does. There are 4 right answers. A, forms the government. 2, defines powers of the government. 3, defines the parts of government. And 4, protects the rights of the people. So I guess your example of, protects the rights of the people would be what? Established in the Bill of Rights?
Yeah, it is just... of course, there's some that say the Bill of Rights should never have happened, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's some members of the Supreme Court that have questions about the 13th, 14th, and 15th, and likely the 16th Amendments to the Constitution.
But interesting, right? Because, Mark, a lot of us, including me, I don't know I could pass all these answers. You really got to study.
and these people, going for citizenship, likely have. But now one of the things are all these Afrikaners that are coming in going to, be given a pass on the citizenship test.
The white folks from South Africa, get the pass.
And are they going to be forced to learn to speak only English and give up Afrikaans?
We shall see. We shall see, Mark. I appreciate the call, Mark. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Let's go quickly to Mike in Spring Green, listening to WRCE. Mark, Mike, pardon me, what say you?
Well, I just wanted to kind of expound on what your past caller said, and you kind of said it too. I was talking to a Filipino woman recently who just got her citizenship, and we talked about the questions. I barely remember any of that stuff because it was in grade school.
Right.
And not only was it boring and the teacher didn't explain it well, we had 8, 9, 10-year-old brains that weren't
Right.
getting it. When they
Mike,
talked about checks
hang on,
and
Mike.
balances,
Mike, we'll finish up after the break. I'm up against the clock. More with Mike on the other side. U.S. citizenship test and what's worse after this on Civic Media.
2.7 WMDX Talk Radio.
Mike, if you can still hear me, just hang on the line. We'll come back to you after the 2-minute commercial break. But the computer cuts me off, so I'm sorry about that.
The only thing creeping near your bed is a deal too good to miss. We custom make every mattress so you know exactly what's inside. No tricks, just treats. Save hundreds on mattresses, foundations, headboards, sheets, and more. Monster savings at Verlo Mattress of Medicine. Upgrade your bedroom and unleash the sleep of your dreams. American-made, locally crafted Verlo. Hurry in before these monster savings vanish. Verlo Mattress of Medicine.
There's nothing quite like the perfect fit. And at Allure Intimate Apparel, that's exactly what they deliver. Their expert team offers one-on-one bra fittings in a graceful, no-pressure environment that celebrates every silhouette. It's luxury tailored to real life where confidence is never compromised. Experience a new standard of personal attention with timeless style and a fit that flatters at every angle. Visit their brand new location at the Hilldale Shopping Center. Visit allurefits.com.
Are you ever questioning when life will slow down? Are you ever thinking of just relaxing and enjoying the simple things? All of this is possible, even while still being in the workforce. Worthington, Minnesota is a town growing, yet it's nothing like metro life. Professional and labor jobs, a beautiful lake, bike trails, recreation, acres of public hunting, festivals, and great people. Slow down. We're just a short drive away, so come join us. Worthington, it's worth a look.
Seems like nobody in America agrees on much of anything these days.
But can we agree the federal government shouldn't tax people into poverty?
If you work full-time, you should be able to afford your basic needs. Don't you think? We're the patriotic millionaires.
We believe your full-time job should cover what it costs to live. We think your first $45,000 of income should be tax-free.
And multimillionaires?
We should pay more to fund your tax cut. Go to first45taxfree.com.
30 seconds.
Thank you.
By the way, the song I'm coming in with, Summertime by Kenny Chesney, because it talks about a tattoo.
Oh, very good. All right, that's right.
And endless rituals. So
cheap shades and a tattoo.
Mental health care works when you make the call. Visit mentalhealthcareworks.org.
Even
a
though it
message
is
from the
not
American
summertime.
Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Join the family.
And it's 2 bare feet on the dashboard. Young love and an old Ford. Cheap shades and a tattoo and a yoo-hoo. Bottle on the floorboard. Perfect song on the radio. Sing along, cause it's one we know. It's a smile, it's a kiss, it's a sip of wine. It's summertime.
Yeah, a little Kenny Chesney for you on a Thursday afternoon on the Todd Allbaugh Show across Wisconsin and the Civic Media Radio Network. 23 now, past the hour of 3 o'clock. I know. Zomer said it's not summertime. I get it. It's still a great song, but it mentions tattoo.
It sure does.
So we'll be talking tattoos and piercings in a minute, but I want to finish up on what we were talking about there just before we broke away. Mike, listening out in beautiful Southwest Wisconsin, Spring Green, listening to us on WRCE in Richland Center. And Mike, we were talking about this, the Trump administration now requiring twice as many questions on the U.S. citizenship test to be naturalized. And some of these are just kind of obscure, and there are more than one answer. And you said you recently talked to someone who came from the Philippines who went through this process.
Right, and my whole point was just when it was taught to us, we were too young, we didn't understand, much less care. Right now, if you just gave me that test, I can pretty much guarantee you I'd fail it, and without studying. And from a different country, of course, you'd have to study. But we've been taught this stuff. We're citizens, and I don't know that stuff.
No,
so it's a weird thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at and some of these questions, and interesting that there's multiple, on some, not all, but on some there are multiple correct answers. For instance, one that's not, question number 17, the President of the United States is in charge of what branch of government? Well, executive branch. That's just one answer. But then I'll give you a multi here. Name one power of the U.S. Congress. And the correct answers are either writes laws, declares war, or makes the federal budget. You have to name one of those. But, yeah.
I would say that they choose their own wages. And, but that's probably not, that's not one of them, is it?
Well, unfortunately, it's correct these days, right?
Well, yeah. So, that's just my point. When I was 8 or 9, when they said checks and balances, all I knew of checks was what my parents wrote to buy stuff.
Right.
They didn't explain it. They didn't explain it well. Right. And maybe if they could, we were too young to understand it. So, I don't know. It's a strange system.
I agree. I've been saying for a long time we need to get back to civics and, making sure people understand these things in our government. So,
yeah, I'm embarrassed. I'm a little bit embarrassed.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe I should be. Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
That's all I know.
Appreciate you out there in Spring Green. Listen to us on WRCE, the old home station in beautiful southwest Wisconsin. 25 now, past 3 o'clock. Time once again for What's Worse. Let's go.
This or that, this or that. Then, of course, the choice is yours. You can get with this or you can get with that. You can get with this or you can get with that.
Time once again for What's Worse. Nothing to give away, no prize, money involved, but it is your chance to have your voice heard on all 10 news, weather, sports, talk stations across the state of Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network. We call. You can get us, well, I'm going to say it. You can get us, if you have a good radio, you can get us on the shores of Lake Superior via WBZH, coming out of Hayward, all the way down to the lakes of the shores of Lake Michigan on WAUK, Milwaukee, Waukesha, to the Mississippi River on WLAX out of La Crosse, up to
or LCX.
Right. See, that's I get that in Amory, right? LCX, thank you, in La Crosse, and then over to the almost partner, as they say, to the shores of Green Bay on WISS. Maybe the FM translator at Appleton gets us to the shores of Green Bay. I'll check that out next time I'm there. So, anyway, it's a great place to have your voice heard, great place to advertise, give one of our salespeople a shout out or a ring. I guess you can't ring them up on a website. Google them up on civicmedia.us, and our great sales team will help you out. All right, here's the category today. Now, I don't have either one of these, but they're enormously popular. Enormously popular. My sister, I don't think I'm telling tales out of school. I don't have clearance, but I'm going to say it anyway. She and her two daughters, my nieces, Isabel and Addison, they got matching little tattoos of the love sign, the American Sign Language sign for love.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, for all three of them. So a lot of people are doing it. What's worse? And please listen to the question. I don't need haters out there. The question is, what's worse? Bad tattoos or bad piercings? No judgment here about tattoos or piercings, but the question is, what's worse, a bad tattoo or a bad piercing? 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. You can also text us on the aforementioned Civic Media app. You can download it today for free at your app store for Android or Apple devices. Go to your app store, type in Civic, CIVIC Media. It'll pop up, cute CM logo. Click on that. Takes less than a minute. It is free. It's what Gail King at CBS, for now, calls a deal. The Civic Media app. Give us a shout out or on Twitter, on Facebook, YouTube. What's worse, a bad tattoo or a bad piercing? We've already established, numbers, that neither one of us have these things, correct?
I don't have any bad tattoos or bad piercings. I don't have any good ones either.
You don't have any good ones either, yeah. Bad tattoos or bad piercings. And again, as someone who doesn't have either one, it seems to me that one is more difficult to get rid of, but I don't know, maybe that's just me. Bad tattoos or bad piercings, what's worse? 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842.
I think you're definitely onto something there. Depending on the piercing, if you just take it out, it will eventually close up, whereas tattoos can be expensive and painful to remove or cover
I've heard
up.
that. PJ, on the YouTube says bad tattoos can be covered up. Bad piercings leave holes that can't be repaired easily. I have both tattoos and piercings. All right, well, that's practical advice from somebody that has them. Stay tuned. We'll finish this up. And Donald Trump wants to use live ammo again. We'll tell you when and where. Right now, Farm News with Pam Yonke across Wisconsin, the Civic Media Radio Network.
WMDX. Warning, may cause smarter dinner conversations.
Yeah, it really depends where the piercing is. I guess a bad piercing is probably not going to close up, because if it's just in your earlobe, how bad is it going to be unless they're just super uneven? But those will close up.
Some call it October, but
That was
in
a long gap.
agriculture, it's Porktober. Although summer has ended and prime grilling season has come to an end, it's still the perfect time of year to enjoy pork for your next meal. Carrie Ritalik, the executive vice president of the Wisconsin Pork Association, is along with us. She tells us why we spend the month of October hamming it up and celebrating the pork industry.
October is considered pork month because in the past, it's usually a lower market for our pork producers. So what we would like to do is promote. And so we can utilize our promotions to help spear the market price and get some more dollars for our pork producers. So traditionally, it's been a lower market than it typically is throughout the rest of the year. So that's the reason why we do additional promotions during October.
Carrie Ritalik, the executive vice president with the Wisconsin Pork Association. She reminds us that with the October promotions, we shouldn't be spooked if there's wicked good deals in the meat case. Take advantage of the opportunity and stock your freezer with pork. Stick around. I'll have a look at your closing markets right after this.
Don't touch that dial. You are tuned into Whiffles Country WYFF, the station that's been family-owned and fiercely independent for almost 80 years. No nonsense, just common sense and chart-topping corn hybrids coming to farm gates all over the Central Corn Belt. Stay tuned for more Whiffles Country hits like She Thinks My Colonel's Sexy, I Got 99 Problems But Yield Ain't One, and Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Sell Soybeans. Thanks for listening, and remember to keep it independent with Whiffles Hybrids.
From mealtime to snack time, Pork has got you covered. Toss chops, rice, veggies, and seasonings in one pan for a weeknight flavor that gets everyone excited. Or add Italian sausage to soup for instant comfort.
You've
food
retroactively
vibes.
been given
It's
permission to talk
flavors
about your
worth
sister's
sharing
tattoo.
around the table.
Oh,
Because
have
when
I? Oh,
pork's
very good.
involved, every meal becomes the main event. For more crowd-pleasing recipes, visit
Sorry, I was reading my
tastewhatporkcando.com. This
Trigby
message
was
brought to
texting
you
in,
by
everybody.
Wisconsin Pig
He says
Farmers
hi
and
to
the Pork
everybody on the
Checkoff.
show.
I'm Kylie Allen for the
Do you have any
Midwest Farm
tattoos or
Report, taking
piercings?
a look at your
You know,
closing
I don't
markets.
know.
From Chicago,
I bet he has a
Not
tattoo.
visibly, at least.
Right, I bet he has a tattoo.
I wouldn't be surprised if he does. You know, like a shoulder tattoo or something. Tramp stamp.
November classroom milk
I'll
contracts are
guarantee you
trading
he does
down
not have
30
a
there's no
tramp
way.
stamp.
There's no way.
No
In
way.
December, classroom milk contracts are trading
Would you
up
get
6
one?
cents at $17.38. 40-pound
A
block
tramp
beef sold
stamp?
no change
Never.
and closed at
Never.
$1.52
I wouldn't
Double
either,
butter
but-
closed up 1 3/4 at $5.57 1/4. Did you know the Midwest Farm Report?
You
has
never
an
know.
app? Find all of our content
Oh
in
my
one easy
gosh.
place. You can find it in the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store by typing in Mid-West Farm Report.
I still remember the movie Cars is the reason I knew what those were at a young
You're
age.
listening to
Really?
92.7.
Because Sally just starts driving away,
Madison's
and there's a
home for
little
the Maggie
bumper
Dawn Show,
tattoo
Monday through Friday,
of like a
4 to
tribal
6
flame
p.m.
thing. He's like, "Oh, you got a tramp stamp." or
Meteorologist
something.
Rodney Price, partly to mostly cloudy into the afternoon and highs in the mid-50s with a light north breeze.
Most of the adult
Clouds
jokes in
tonight, upper
Pixar movies
30s.
go over your head as a
Friday,
kid.
low
That one I got. I
forecast.
was like,
Partly
"What's a
sunny
tramp
skies,
stamp?"
lower
And
50s
then
in
my
the
mom
late
had to
day,
be
a
like,
couple of showers at trick-or-treat
"Some
time.
people get a tattoo right above their butt."
The John and
I
Gordon
wonder
Show.
what was the impetus? Like, how did that?
Down there,
Who started that?
I don't know.
Job, reporting
Now we're
on
gonna have
ice.
to dig into and do a segment on the history of tramp stamps.
Chicagoans blowing whistles and
We'll
honking
bring in a
their
couple of
horns and
tramps and
coming
have a
out
couple
in
of cup of
force.
coffee.
We are
It'll
not
be
going to
great.
stand for it in our neighborhood. Go home.
If you're a tramp and would like to talk about your stamp, give Aaron
Weekday
Sommers
mornings
a ring.
6 till 8 on 92.7 WMDX and the Civic Media app.
According to the AI overview from Google, which, you know, take that with a grain of salt. The term tramp stamp emerged in the late 90s and early 2000s to describe lower back tattoos fueled by the popularity of low-rise jeans.
We're in more
Oh,
I guess before that, jeans were higher rise. So
Yes,
now that
they
they're
were.
low, it's like, oh, I can show off a tattoo.
From emergency
I just find them.
20 seconds.
I find them ridiculous, and
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys that have them even more ridiculous.
It can be funny, but that's maybe not the vibe people go for.
Here we go.
Some people have none, some have one that they're ashamed of. Most people think that we're fools. Some people don't get it, and some people don't care. And some of us, we have tattoos.
Welcome back to the Old Town Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. It is now 35 past the hour of 3 o'clock on this Thursday, October 30th, 2025. Aaron Zommers on the board, our producer, engineer, and in-house DJ. Is that Pat McCurdy?
No, it is Frank Turner with the
Frank
tune
Turner.
Tattoos.
Oh, very nice.
You know, over the break, Todd and I were talking about the origin of tramp stamps, and we asked, where did that start? Why is that a thing? And our very own Terry Barr is on top of it. She says, I believe Britney Spears was behind it. That's a really good one, Terry. Thank you.
Well done, Terry Barr. She gets it done. Yeah, that was one of these times when, if you tune in our show on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, it's either the Todd Allbaugh Show or Civic Media. And then on YouTube, it's the Civic Media YouTube page. And then on, Twitter, it's Civic Media as well, right?
Civic Media and WMDX.
And WMDX. So you can watch the show. And we leave the mics on and the cameras on for most of the breaks. And so you get to see what we talk about and what we're like when we're not on the air, quote unquote. And we're not dramatically different, as it turns out,
really.
to the chagrin of people on the 12th floor. And so John, we brought this up because today is What's Worse, to bring it back to the show. What's worse, bad, and please. We're talking about bad. We're no judgment here on people that have tattoos and piercing, but the category is what's worse, bad tattoos or bad piercings, all right? And if you're watching on the aforementioned stream, the card, the graphic, is it looks like the Virgin Mary with a very odd face.
Very small face.
Yes. And then the tattoos is just crossbars and hooks and chains and I don't know what.
Just multiple crossing industrials or whatever.
Yes. So bad tattoos or bad piercings. Now, I didn't know whether I should say this on the air, but I did anyway. But now my sister has granted me permission. Heather, watching on Facebook up there at WCFW Eau Claire, she says, permission given. And the answer depends on where the tattoos or piercing is located. If it is visible location, bad piercings look worse, could be deformed or infected. I had a student years ago who had a growth on part of her ear from a botched piercing. Ugh.
Yeah, along those lines, something that my sisters learned at a very young age. Now this story's gone, but don't get your ears pierced at Claire's.
Oh, okay.
So now don't get your ears pierced at Walmart. Like if you're going to get, I mean, maybe it's better than it was, but when my sisters were little, it was not the most sanitary thing, and it was super uneven.
That's not good.
Yeah, so if you're going to...
You don't want the same person that's doing the Xeroxing to also be piercing, who's also running off your film.
Exactly. So,
and of course, two of the three things don't exist anymore.
No, they still do. I did that a little bit when I worked at CVS.
Did you? All right.
But anyway,
good.
Go to a real
Yes, go to
sanitary
something legit.
piercing and tattoo
Right.
place. It'll cost more. Trust me, it's worth it.
A body thing, yes. Bad tattoos, Heather says, might be unreadable or just look like a mess, less noticeable, but hopefully not infected. Oozing tattoos would be gross. Now I'm arguing myself into a corner. I don't know now. Just as Zomer says, news you could use, whether it's piercings or tattoos, go to someone reputable.
Do your research. Ask friends if they have tattoos or piercings. That went really well.
Yeah. PJ on YouTube says, for piercings, contact a place like Blue Lotus in Madison. I think, weren't they a sponsor at one point or
I don't know.
Civic Media? Well, if not, they should be. Blue Lotus in Madison. There's a shout out for a good place here in town. What's worse, bad tattoos or bad piercings? 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. By the way, Lynn, listening on WMDX, and Lynn, we could get you this. She says, could you please repeat or post on the website the author and name of the book about billionaires. I've heard this delightful guy in an ad on Civic Media in the past. Yes, I'm old, and by the time my phone got my phone out and was poised to enter the name of the book or author, boom, it's gone from my sorry brain. I'd love to order the book. Thanks in advance. Lynn, I'm right there with you. Believe me, Lynn, I am right there with you.
Honestly, me too.
Zomer's going to test. There are several times during the day where I'm like, what was I going to say? So absolutely, Lynn, we'll put it in our show notes. So if you go to civicmedia.us and then to the Todd Allbaugh Show, it'll be there for you. Civicmedia.us and then the Todd Allbaugh Show. Or I'll just tell you, the guy's name, great guy, Chuck Collins. Collins. Chuck Collins. And the name of the book is hang on.
Burned by Billionaires.
See, it happened to me. Thank you, Zomer. Burned by Billionaires.
You can get it anywhere books are sold, but, going on the whole point of the book, maybe don't order it from Amazon. You can go to chuckcollinswrites.com. WRITES, because he wrote the book.
Now we've given her too much information.
I also sent her a text with a link.
Oh, did you? Oh, how nice of you. You're such a nice guy, Zomers. But thank you, Lynn. Yeah, Chuck Collins was a great guest. We'll have him back soon. Burned by Billionaires, the name of the book. Fantastic. What's worse, bad tattoos or bad piercings? 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. Greg, listening to us in beautiful Genesee Depot on WAUK, Milwaukee, Waukesha. Greg says a bad tattoo is worse. All right. Matt in Middleton chiming in on WMDX. Matt says, I have to go with bad tattoos or worse, unless it's a large ear hole. Is that gauges? That's what it's called?
Yeah.
Gauged, I don't know. It's not my thing. Julie in Wausau, listening on WXCO, beautiful Bull Falls Radio. We were just there a couple weeks ago. Julie says, I don't have either because it disqualifies you from donating blood and saving lives for months. Oh,
This is true. Yeah.
Really?
Because, people might have allergies to stuff in the ink. And if you got a tattoo or a piercing at Walmart, you might have an infection. You can't give blood with that.
No, we can't. We're not making big generals. The point is just go somewhere reputable.
Yes,
right.
I guess I shouldn't call a specific place.
Yes, we don't need lawsuits. The phones are ringing from the 12th floor. Allie in Madison on WMDX. Some piercings you might never see.
Very true.
We won't go there, literally or figuratively. But yes, all I'll say about that is ouch. I just don't get the point of those types of things.
I don't either.
One
that is safe for work, a tattoo you might not see. Somebody I know has piercings on their back that are little eye holes, and that you tie ribbons, so it's like your back is laced up.
Oh my!
And to me, that seems miserable. You can never sit in a chair without getting hooked on it. That's just, I don't understand why a person would do that. It's so, yeah.
I'm laughing at your comment. The person gets hooked in a chair. I can't get out. I'm hooked with my piercing. Yeah, I don't. There's a lot of information there. Allie in Madison on MDX says, some piercings you might. Oh, yeah, that's what we are. Right. Sorry. Just put me in a home right now, Summers. All right, that's how we play. What's worse? We'll come back with a Halloween edition tomorrow. Not going to want to miss it. A candy edition of What's Worse tomorrow. That'll be fun. Are we dressing up tomorrow for Halloween, Summers?
I'm planning on it.
Are you really?
Nothing crazy, but
I have a costume at home. You've seen the picture, right?
I haven't seen the picture, but you did describe it to me.
I have a costume at home. There's been some discussion about whether or not I should wear it.
It's edgy. I'll say that.
And not in any sort of a sexual or perverse way at all. It has to do with the topic that we've been talking about on this show. I'm leaning towards no.
I'm leaning towards it as well. So maybe someday we'll tell you what it is.
Yeah. I might bring in the elements of the costume tomorrow.
Okay.
Could I do that?
I think that would be okay.
I could bring in the elements. I paid $55. See what we said? Where is it? Here it is. Hang on. We were talking about this the other day. Americans plan to spend an average of $296 for Halloween this year. an adult costume, $46 on average. I spent $10 over the average on a costume I might not even wear.
So far, I've not spent any money, but there is one thing I need that I'm guessing I'm going to spend like $15 on.
This is the problem. One of the many, well, not many, but when you live alone, you just talk to yourself. And you look in the mirror. Wow, I put it on. I was vastly I was entertained myself with this costume, and then I kind of shopped it around to some friends, and they thought it was funny. But then a couple have said, "Do you really want to go there?" And I said, "So I may just bring in." It's a great wig, by the way, a great wig.
So I've heard.
45 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock. All right, let's get to this. We talked about this, a couple weeks ago. I mean, things come so fast and furious. So remember when, a couple weeks ago, right, the No Kings protest rallies were happening. And Donald Trump and Secretary of Defense, he calls it war, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, said, let's disrupt these protesters. So Hegseth wanted to fire live ammunition across the California interstate to disrupt the flow of traffic, so make it harder to get to No Kings rallies in San Diego. And one of these things blew up in the air, and the shrapnel hit the motorcade of Vice President J.D. Vance. What could possibly go wrong? Well, now you probably didn't hear about this. He's back at it. According to the Associated Press, White House urged the firing of live bombs, not dummies, for Navy celebration, AP sources say. The White House pressed U.S. Navy officials to launch 2,000-pound live bombs instead of dummy explosives during an elaborate military demonstration for the service's 250th anniversary celebration that President Donald Trump attended.
But why?
Two people familiar with the planning of the event told the Associated Press. Well, thank you so very much for asking. One person familiar with the planning said White House officials insisted to Navy planners that Trump, quote, needed to see explosions, unquote, instead of just a big splash during the October 5th demonstration. You can't make this crap up. I mean, Trump says, I got to see explosions. I don't want to see a splash. So you wanted the Navy to use live 2,000-pound explosive munitions for this thing. Original planning, according to the AP, original planning for what the Navy dubbed the Titans of the Sea Presidential Review called for military personnel to use dummies and not live bombs. A third person familiar with the Navy's planning said that person, who, like the other, was not authorized to speak publicly on the matter and spoke on condition of anonymity, would not comment on why the Navy decided to switch to live bombs. The White House said no switch was made. Deputy Press Secretary Anna Kelly, in a statement, said, quote, organizers always plan to use live munitions as is typical in training exercises, unquote. The episode is the latest example of the Trump administration turning the military towards the president's wishes in ways large and small, from summoning generals around the world to Washington for a day of speeches to his lethal strikes on alleged drug boats in the Caribbean. What's up with this? Live munitions? Talk to any veteran, any naval veteran. You just don't do this.
And it really went so well last time.
Right? It hit the vice president's motorcade. Of course, J.D. Vance, not the first vice president that Donald Trump tried to kill off. So there's that. Hang Mike Pence, remember that on January 6th? Come on back. Your phone calls and more after this on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Yes, some of us, we have tattoos.
Wisconsin as a fish fry on a Friday night. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
Troy has some thoughts about our Halloween plans for tomorrow.
Want to vote
very
for
good.
governor?
All right.
You do have many to choose from who have served in the assembly.
Hey.
Or you can choose the one of us
Ryan.
candidate. Hi, I'm
Ryan
Sternad.
Sternad.
I work for a living. Sure, I don't have elected experience,
Beer,
but I do have working class experience.
Ice cold
Wouldn't
beer?
you want your governor to know what it's like to be in your shoes and to govern that way? For more, go to RyanSternadForGovernor.com.
Paid for by Ryan Sternad for Governor.
Get the drill out of my face. Hey, no one wants to get their teeth drilled at the dentist, right? That's why I stopped. This is Dr. Chris Kammer from Victorious Dental. When you can heal cavities with brush-on medicine, why would you ever want to amputate tooth structure with a dental drill? There are no dental drills at Victorious Dental, and no shots either. Don't need them. For a kinder, more humane healing experience at the dentist, reach out to Victorious Dental at thedrillisgone.com.
What if Victoria's Dental combined with Victoria's Secret? Now there you'd have a store.
Blended. That's right. Madison's go-to cannabis destination now as
I'm trying to picture what that would be like.
Sun Prairie. Wait,
It'd be dentists and hygienists and lingerie.
With 3 Madison
Well,
locations
but you're
and now
buying
Sun
lingerie.
Prairie, a great cannabis
Well, they're modeling.
experience is always
Oh,
close
so
by.
okay,
Our
gotcha.
expert
It's just like,
staff
would
is
you
here
like
to
this
help,
one?
whether you
Right,
walk
exactly.
in, call or order online. Mention Radio 420 and get a special discount. So
you
stop
buying
by
for yourself
Herbal
or
Aspect
somebody
in
else?
Sun
No
Prairie,
comment.
Because great cannabis isn't just a pipe dream.
Well, it's just so that we know what to help you look for.
Right, exactly.
We were in the bottom 10 states for creating jobs and for entrepreneurial activity.
Is Representative Tom Tiffany right? Does Wisconsin rank among the bottom 10 states in job creation and entrepreneurship? Yes, although not in every business climate ranking. National Business Capital, a business lender, ranked Wisconsin 42nd for starting a business.
stand
Will
on
Simplify
guard
LLC,
for
a
thee.
publication serving startups,
Oh,
ranked at 43rd. The Wallet
Canada.
Hub and U.S. News
We
ranked Wisconsin's business climate in the
Jim
mid-30s. And CNBC
That's right.
and
That's
a poll
Todd
of
doing his
CEOs
impersonation of Jim
both ranked
Neighbors
it
singing
21st.
"Oh
From
Canada."
2018
I went to a
to
record store last
2025,
weekend,
Wisconsin
and I
added
I saw Jim Neighbors'
63,300
albums,
jobs,
vinyl,
ranking 40th
and I searched
nationally, according
searched
to the Federal
for "Oh
Reserve
Canada"
Bank of
to
Philadelphia.
no avail.
I'm Trisha Young for Wisconsin.
anybody
Watch.
has that
Fact
album,
briefs are bite-sized fact
please
checks
let
of
me know.
trending claims produced by Wisconsin
I always
Watch
take a
and
look
Data
anytime I'm
Fact.
in a
Read
store
more
that
It
at
exists. I know it
wisconsinwatch.org.
exists.
I haven't found it yet either.
Maybe it was just a bad episode of Jim Neighbors as
We're
Gomer
a team
Pyle.
that plays together.
No.
Listen, the winning will take
30
care of
seconds.
itself.
All right,
we
thank
just have
you.
to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports.
Welcome back to the Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network, where it is now 8 minutes before the hour of 4 o'clock at the top of the hour. ABC or CBS News, depending upon which of our great stations you're listening to, followed by a check of weather. And then the great Mike Clemens, our sports reporter, will be in with sports. Zomer's been watching the World Series.
I have, although I did not watch all 18 innings the other day.
No.
I only watched 11 and a half.
I watched most of the game last night. The Blue Jays won again, and now it goes back to Toronto. So now last game has been played in the World Series in the United States, goes to Toronto tomorrow night for Game 6. The Blue Jays could wrap it up with one more win. They lead the Dodgers 3-2, or the Dodgers got to win 2 up there. So
Yeah.
I'm just because the Dodgers are the top money team. Toronto's not too far behind, and also the Dodgers beat our Brewers. So I'm cheering for. I'm sure they got this new kid that's 22. It's like the Mizorowski of Toronto. Forget his name, like Versoth or something like that.
Something like that. I'm also reading
Savage, and he's great. He pitched like 7 innings last night. It was amazing. This kid out of Toronto. So I'm taking on the Blue Jays. So.
Trey Yesavage.
That's it. Trey Yesavage. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Our friend Troy in Mount Horeb, listening to WMDX. We were talking earlier, Troy. I have purchased a Halloween costume. It's tomorrow, although there's some consternation whether I should wear it, whether it'll offend too many people. I have the parts of the costume. Your feelings, Troy?
Wear it. Absolutely wear it.
Wear it. You think I should wear it? All right.
I don't even know what it is. I don't care. Wear it.
It's not, and let me just make sure people understand. It's nothing like inappropriate, like in terms of like.
No, I don't think it's.
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't even expect that. But
No.
wear it.
I've sent Zommers a picture. Zommers is going to. He has not seen this. I put it on last night and took a selfie, and so Zommers will tell me yes or no. Should I wear the costume?
Yes, you should.
Isn't that great? I mean, because I'm balding. I don't shy away from that.
It is a good wig.
It's a great wig, and
The
it matches
props
my
also
beard.
add a lot.
I know, right? I spent the most money I spent was for the shirt, $25 that I'll never wear anywhere else.
You look just like Donald, don't you?
No, it's not that. It is.
No, it's
You're
not
right.
that? Okay.
It is. It would be
I took a shot.
dressing as a political figure.
This is true. Yes.
An elected political figure. Troy, are you dressing up? You and the lovely and talented wife. You guys, are you hosting trick-or-treaters at the house in Mount Horeb, or do you go out on the town?
Actually, we're having a party tomorrow night.
Oh, good.
So, yeah,
Very good.
I always hand out candy. I get in costume. I'll be in the cow costume that I wore at the No Kings rally.
Great. Cow costume. I love it.
Yeah.
All
The
right.
guy, when I wore it at the No Kings rally, the guy selling pumpkins across the street was mad at us, and he asked me if I was gay, and I'm thinking, that's not the insult it was when you were a kid.
Right? Yeah.
Anymore.
That seems an odd type of attempted insult for a guy wearing a cow costume, right?
He said no man would ever dress up like that in public.
Oh, for goodness sake. Wow.
I'm thinking, really?
Right?
And he said, yeah, he must be gay, because they told me, be nice, don't say anything to anybody, so I didn't. Because I wanted to ask him if he wanted to tickle my udders.
See, that's a great comeback for somebody who's being mean.
I thought so too. Yes.
Right? Well, as an openly gay man, I endorse the costume, and thank you for sticking up for the rest of us. I appreciate the solidarity. I appreciate the solidarity. We're all in this together. Gay, straight, black, white, rural, urban.
Exactly.
Right? We're all in this fight together. All right. I appreciate you, Troy. Have a great day out there.
Have a great day.
Yep, out there, beautiful Mount Horeb. Well, this has been quite a show, Zommers. This has been quite a show.
Yes,
Here's something we did not get to. It's our new segment. Well, I guess we could get to it quickly because we were talking before the break about Donald Trump ordering the use of live munitions again for this Navy celebration because Trump himself wanted to see an explosion, not just a splash in the water. So they allegedly did it for him. And now here, exclusively from CNN, maybe we'll get into this a little bit tomorrow, a 3-star general serving in the Pentagon's Joint Chiefs of Staff have been pushed out of his position following months of sustained tensions with Secretary of State, or as they put it, Defense, Pete Hegseth, according to people familiar with the matter. The general's stalled promotion also contributed to his retirement, the source said. Lieutenant General Joe McGee, the director for Strategy, Plans, and Policy in the Joint Staff, left his position earlier this month. The source says they added that McGee had frequently pushed back against Hegseth and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Dan Raisin Kane, as Trump calls him, on issues ranging from Russia and Ukraine to military operations in the Caribbean. The source noted that McGee was nominated by former President Joe Biden nearly a year ago for a promotion to serve as the director of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, but was never renominated by the current administration. McGee's primary responsibility in the role was to advise Kane on long-term military strategy, including weighing the risks of potential actions and planning for crisis contingencies. That is exclusive from CNN. Just goes to show, once again, and there's a lot of great veterans in our state, great military people, great National Guard is military, but I mean full-time military. And, I just put the question out there. Apply what you know to be true, the reason that you serve, the reason that you did serve, and put that against the facts that we're seeing right now in the Trump administration. Doesn't add up, in my opinion, and is immensely dangerous to the country. Appreciate everybody being here. Chuck Collins, what a great guest. Buy his new book wherever books are sold. You can find it online, of course, right now as well. The book is entitled Burned by Billionaires, How Concentrated Wealth and Power Are Ruining Our Lives and Planet. Also, many thanks to Aaron Zommers. Thanks for Tucker for being here from Matt Nair on Air. We'll be back with a Halloween edition. Peter Rapine, wacky headlines tomorrow as well. But stay tuned. Maggie Dawn is next. Todd saying whatever you're fighting for, whatever you believe in, do not give up. Keep banging your drum. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate you. Have a great afternoon.
Adios.
Bye.